stocks today. What hammering to IT?
Hammering, yeah.
So ऑटोज एंड आईटी दो चीज पे बात करते हैं ना. मैं पोर्टफोलियो रिजिक पे बात करूंगा, लेकिन पहले आईटी. भाई साहब बताइए.
आईटी में क्या बताऊं, बताने लायक कुछ बचा नहीं अभी. But okay, I've been maintaining this position for some time, saying that IT recovery is going to only happen in the second half of the year. But your analysts, your reports all talk about, okay, it's the recovery is there. Of course, the commentary has been a little better in Q3 for everyone. Means TCS, Infosys वगैरह सबके लिए commentary अच्छा था. But it's purely linked to the interest rates which is happening in the US. And now that with inflation concerns coming back again, the discretionary spend which picked up because of the cycle turning in the US, they may go for a pause, and that is something which I think is one of the worries which is coming in across the board, and that's something which will be the key thing to watch out for in Q4 as well. So how is the discretionary thing?
14% off from the highs. IT 14%. Has it done enough?
I don't think so. अभी है, अभी भी पेन है उसमें, because 14% आप इंडेक्स की बात कर रहे हो, right? But in individual heavy weights which are extensively dependent on discretionary spend, that entire volume growth that comes in with discretionary, it's going to get hit, and that is something which we are not able to put a pencil and number to. Basically मेरे हिसाब से ये अभी थोड़ा सा और जाएगा, उसके बाद ही ये करेक्शन आने वाला है, मतलब इसके बाद ही ये रिवाइवल आने वाला है. और ये Q4 की कमेंट्री इज गोइंग टू बी द कमेंट्री लिटमस टेस्ट कि भाई होने ओके. जिन सब कंपनीज ने, एवरी कंपनी सेड वेरी क्लियरली, दे सेड दैट डिस्क्रिशनरी स्पेंड हैज पिक्ड अप एंड इट्स कोइंसाइडिंग विद द रेट साइकिल रिवर्सल दैट हैपेंड. नीचे जब इंटरेस्ट गया तो डिस्क्रिशनरी स्पेंड ऊपर गया. TCS said it, Infosys said it, everyone said it. Now that the rate cycle is going for a pause, and now the latest Friday economic data has not been very good. Inflation expectation is now at is expected to go as high as 30-year high. Actually, I think the pause is going to be there, and that pause is going to be very painful for the IT.
So do you think it's more tariff related also that the inflation concerns started to go up now? I mean, Walmart pointed out, but is that it?
No, IT doesn't have much of a tariff related issue.
Inflation वाला जो point बोला.
Inflation तो रहेगा ही रहेगा ना, tariff की वजह से. But
और बढ़ जाएगा.
Again, the tariff will come into play in April only, right? Means except for one or two areas जहाँ पर चाइना के ऊपर डाला हुआ है, all other countries tariffs are going to come up in April. I'm also not very clear on what he said over the weekend about tax on digital tax, which many countries are imposing on US tech companies, like the Facebooks, the Google, others. उस पर भी reciprocal tax आने की बात हो रही है. So that's going to be something even how are they going to do it? In what form it's going to happen? He's spoken about it. He signed a memorandum on it, but details are waited there. So it is going to be a painful from a demand point of view. Let's look at only the demand point of view. बाकी tariff आएगा तो let's assume that it gets passed on because the customer has to bear half of it or a large part of it. But demand is going to be a big concern going into Q4 earnings or into the first quarter of FY26, primarily because there could be a pause coming on the back of discretionary spends which is there. The second thing is that Trump spoke about cut in corporate taxes. That hasn't happened yet. He said that I will be cutting corporate taxes, and the assumption was
IT stocks didn't go up because of that.
No, but the purpose was that if you cut corporate taxes, then they would be able to spend more. Maybe on IT, maybe on any other tech services.
But ये तो crucial spend है ना, ये तो non-discretionary है ना.
Crucial spend भी नहीं आ रहा ना. And inflation is eating into the margins for companies as well. So IT is, I think that's one of the reasons why IT is, showing that pain which is coming in.
Severe pain. By the way, can I just urge our producers to add Puneet to that digital live group as well? So that, because I don't have my phone, so we need both Puneet and Sajeet to be able to take questions.
I
So
think
urge
just one
them to
interesting
do
which like macro to sahi sir whatever, but stock wise it was like LTTS is down like 5% today in trade, and we had Macquarie ka double upgrade on Friday on it, saying
when it went up 5%.
When it went up 5%. So their target is actually a 33% upside from those levels, because purely that it's a 30% discount to persistent and 11% discount to Coforge. But it's like a very interesting time to have a double upgrade on a stock
It
like
seems
that.
Harsh is watching the podcast while changing the diapers.
Harsh, to Soha, you, congratulations. And Nirvi. Congratulations
yes.
once again. We miss you here, by the way. But okay. So at what point do you buy, right? Another 5-10% correction, I'm presuming if it's for the IT space.
2.5% down. It's
2.5% down. And this morning in the trade setup I mentioned that it's very difficult right now to call bottoms out. Simply because ये extended hai, but if you're getting stocks in. So JP Morgan, for example, 3 days ago or 4 days ago wrote a report, right, that it's a high quality, they wrote it, I think for persistent. It's a high quality compounder, buy into the weakness. So deliver kar raha hai numbers. So at some point of time, it will recover. So
I think
if MTMs are not a problem, then some of the stocks might be giving value.
Do you think that companies which are into ER&D, they are
भाई but ये सोचो, मैं आपने बोला ये मुंह की बात छीन ली मैं बताऊं क्यों? I was looking on your Excel, I've just done the math. For the one ER&D stock जिसने अभी तक guidance ज़्यादा काटा नहीं है, कुछ नहीं किया है, KPIT Tech, right? It's down 31% from its highs. So of course it's exposed to auto, which is why I think legitimately so it's down. But KPIT is saying my guidance is okay. 18 to 20 तो 18 कर रहा हूँ. In fact quarter 4 का upbeat था फिर भी है. So ER&D भी there's a problem.
So which is the area within the IT which is actually not a problem? Any exposure there is not a problem?
An IT stock which is valued at 10 times PE. नहीं यार, but difficult. I mean, you understand this much better than any of us, but फिर भी लग रहा है यार कि देखो, the street doesn't like high valuations right now. I think that's the problem. It's happening, and that's why maybe HCL Tech is the top user because it run up so much, right?
3.2% down.
On improving its margin trajectory vis-a-vis the others.
So Coforge आज ऊपर है, बस और कुछ नहीं है. Like in a red
Coforge
street,
is the only one which is up 1.4%.
1.4%. It's just
everything else is looking lovely. Cool. So this is one. Now there are some questions, and we'll take the questions very, very quickly. But Puneet, autos, right? There's an argument that Jefferies made on M&M today. And there is a counter argument that the Incred head of research was making on our channel, saying that if Tesla comes in and it's at the same price point or whatever, then people might want to buy the Tesla brand. Now, it may not impact current earnings. I think Alex was making this point. Current year, but ideas के future growth अगर Mahindra बोल रहा है कि EV है मेरा. And if that is going to see global competition, could that be an issue?
Well, ये पूरा जो Mahindra में correction है, they just were speculating that is there. But I was just looking at the numbers for something like a Tesla. The cheapest is Model 3 rear-wheel drive. It's roughly $42,000. That's 36 lakh rupees. But that's not the on-road price. That's just the price that can happen. उसके ऊपर you'll add freight cost, you'll add a 15% import duty, which was earlier 110, but it's 15%.
You're looking at the price from the point of view of how it's priced in the US.
No, I'm पूरा इंडिया का देख रहा हूँ मैं तो. मैं बताऊँ
ये 42,000 US का है, right?
US का है. And
generally,
when I look at China, when I look at Germany, the prices are somewhere in the between 40 and 44. So it's not very different. But the India के जो taxes, I was just looking at the numbers. It's like 35,000 on just the cost. But when you add a 15% import duty, your cost suddenly goes to 45 lakhs. You add insurance, goes to 52 lakhs. Then तो फिर आपका argument क्या है कि with Mahindra's BE6 or XCV9E,
which is what 31, 32
which is
lakhs,
32 max,
30.9, and then you add insurance, everything, it becomes 33 lakhs. So there is the 20 lakh ka differential. So this argument, while it has some merit that people are basking on कि हम 25,000 वाला EV लाएगा, but they'll have to launch it globally, right? Why will they launch it first?
But there is
also,
at that price,
because it will go in Germany first, it will go where they are in China first. There they are getting hammered. Sales are falling for Tesla in every quarter in China. So
tell me one thing, at that price point, which are the other EV
what about BYD?
So
BYD है, Ionic है, right? Ionic भी उस रेंज में है?
Ionic is around 40 to
50.
and I think the BYD
Tesla के रेंज में हो गया ना?
No, but मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कि अगर BYD, if the duty etc is going down, do BYD
तो
cars
BYD के
become?
लिए नहीं जाएगा ना, US के लिए जाएगा ना सिर्फ. That is, it's between the bilateral. It will be part of the
Oh, you're saying
bilateral.
BYD duties will not go down?
No, it's
But
not.
BYD currently is selling the C line, I think, at 48 lakhs. And
48
has gotten
lakhs.
But
decent
that's-
demand, but still again,
it's not
luxury.
Then it
yeah.
doesn't impact Mahindra.
That's essentially my
16
point.
lakhs
yeah.
is a large price difference.
Yes, yes.
Let's be
16
real.
lakh basically changes the
16 में
entire
दो गाड़ियाँ आ जाती है और
Yeah,
भाई।
yeah.
वो गाड़ी नहीं, वो पूरा वो ऑर्बिट ही चेंज हो जाता है कि
Yeah.
खरीदने वाले का ऑर्बिट ही खत्म हो
Of
जाता है.
course,
वो
essentially,
वो
yeah.
सीधा मर्सिडीज वाले बेस लेवल पे पहुंच जाता है.
Yeah. So,
So then-
essentially, that is my whole argument that that you are.
So is this being punished wrongly?
I think it's just being punished because of valuation concept. It was the top most valued.
But आज
passenger
Javeri's का
vehicle.
note है कि 20
Yeah,
times
yeah,
पे
and
available
they
है.
are still seeing growth because essentially, like when you see the models going, ये दो models plus the XUV sales are still going on very strongly. The 700, Thar is continuing, 3XO is continuing. So it is the and last 9 महीने में तो देखा ही हमने 20% growth every month when the industry is going.
And
up to 3%.
I'm told that even though the capacity for EV is around 5,000 units per
Yeah.
month, in next 3 months they're going to increase it further in a gradual manner to
Yes.
10,000
Yeah.
odd. So by the end of this fiscal FY26 it
Yeah.
will be 10,000. So अभी अगर इनको 30
So अभी का capacity 60 है तो 1 lakh तक चला जाएगा.
1 लाख तक
basically.
चले जाएगा उनका. और अभी जो इनको 30,000 कुछ मिला है डे वन
Billings,
में
yeah.
बिलिंग मिले, they would have gone up to 50,000 or
Yeah.
something, and they should again it's going to be something
Yeah.
6
I
months.
think Nomura also pointed out in his report that it's according to their dealer checks, it's continuing to get bookings after the first day itself
Yeah.
as well. So that is something that's going back as well.
Okay, so well, could be interesting to see what happens to autos. But I mean, Anisha expressed, as he would of course, but
Yeah.
express
Yeah, but
optimism.
the management will always be
That's
optimistic.
what I
The point is that there is some fear which is coming in, and that's why it's getting hammered. Means
Yeah, वो तो है, but
BYD or Tesla is not the fear. There could be another one, anything else which maybe we are not doing it. Means there are brokerages which have taken sides. It's positive or it's negative or it's going to be neutral. But point is that EV as percentage of Mahindra's sale is going to be very small. Right?
Eventually, they're
As of now.
estimating to be 20% next year.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
20% next
15,
year
20% in
next
FY,
year
yes.
इस साल 5-10% भी नहीं
but आप
होगा.
आज इस साल के earnings के लिए नहीं ले रहा हूँ.
26 के लिए ले लो अब.
नहीं, मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि your terminal value that you attach to a business, right? That भाई इतना पी है तो 5 साल तक इतना grow करेगा, whatever it is. If your future business, which is when Mahindra is saying our strategy is EV,
Yes.
pure EV, and if that basket is seeing the maximum competition, would there be some bit of valuation derating? This may not be the market believing that then 2 साल के earnings जाएंगे. This may be the market saying that let's pull back the valuation a bit, which we had given high, simply because we believe that Mahindra has virtually no competition in EVs, because the product suits are looking very good, etc. Now they might. Could that be that?
Could that, yeah.
Could be, but also factor in the fact that उन्होंने जो अपना स्टेक बेचा था ब्रिटिश इंटरनेशनल कोलंबिया इंटरनेशनल को, इट वाज एट अराउंड $9 billion, राइट? अभी अब सम ऑफ पार्ट्स करके देखोगे तो दैट्स गोइंग इन अ वेरी डिस्काउंटेड प्राइस द एंटायर ईवी बिजनेस एज अ होल, बिकॉज पूरे उसमें या फैक्टर इन हो भी नहीं रहा है.
But sir, वो तो मैं आपको बोलूँ, for example, market wide, a clutch of QIPs that have been done were done in 2024. Some of the stocks are trading below
the QIP price.
Not just the QIP price, below the previous 6 months ka weighted average price also. And these QIPs were bought by smart money managers.
Yeah.
So that I think in this fall has ceased to be an argument. But any case, by the way, so in investing there's a question.
Yeah.
Which is coming from, it's all about the fund, that how many stocks in the long-term portfolio is ideal. The question is really, I mean, it's an interesting question. That most of them say 10-15, but we've seen big bulls like Rakesh and Damani getting wealthy through only 4-5 stocks in their portfolio. In fact, you would argue it's all about the fund, that maybe only 3-4 stocks in the portfolio. But I think the difference is that so Utpal Sheth in one of the events had said that Rakesh bought Titan 30x higher than his previous first investment price as well. He knew Titan inside out. And that's why he was able to bet such large money on 3 or 4 or 5 stocks, which made him money. And a lot of others may not have. अगर if you believe in your long-term portfolio, you know each of these stocks, 10, 15, very, very well, then go all out and very aggressive. But otherwise, as a lot of other people are doing these days, that they are making very wide portfolios. Personal portfolios, but very large. Sorry, just personal portfolios, but very large, because they are saying that if there is an accident happening, because there are so many changes, etc. Diversify. So एक स्टॉक का अगर मेरे पोर्टफोलियो में 3% वेटेज है, तो स्टॉक जीरो भी हो गया. My portfolio doesn't get impacted.
My point here is just one thing. You have to bifurcate your investing portfolio from your trading portfolio. Simple.
No, even on your investing portfolio, Sajeet.
Investing portfolio में अगर जैसे राकेश के 3 से 5 स्टॉक है, 6 से 6-7 स्टॉक है, you decide on what that. For that, you have to do the kind of research like Rakesh does, right?
Exactly.
It's extensive, and having that, or like a Ramdev does for that kind of stock. कि एक या 2 stocks and they're on it. And they're still bullish on the stock which they held maybe 10 years back.
I think Mangar also had just 3 stocks at the end.
Yeah,
in his portfolio
but
well, yeah.
the point is that it has to be what should I say? The trading portfolio should be separate, and you should not mistake your trading portfolio to be an investing portfolio. That's what I want to
Most
say.
certainly. Most certainly.
But इससे एक याद आया मुझे. You must have read Buffett letter over the weekend.
Yeah.
His cash positions have doubled
So
in 1 year.
Cash is high. He's buying in Japan.
Yeah.
And outside US. So he's
Outside
also
US.
not seeing valuation comfort in US either.
Yeah.
So
And US market is hitting.
And I think
all-time
before
Friday
the
को नीचे
election,
Friday को गया था पर उससे
But
पहले
yes.
हाँ.
before the election, he had the biggest bond holdings. He had like thought that through that this
but
is
Buffett
something
साहब
which
की time frame
Yeah.
and
वो
all
सब,
of that
हाँ.
is very, very different.
Yeah,
So
he has seen so many elections, so many
No, but
cycles
within
there.
1 year the cash positions going up by so much.
I think one of them was Apple, right? Because he sold so much of Apple in July. I think that was one of the biggest reasons which is happening here.
But well, I don't know. I mean, I see he's the best investor that the world has seen.
World has seen, yeah.
So clearly he's seeing something that we are not.
Yeah.
Or he's been too conservative.
Maybe. So some people argue that the last few years his performance has not been the best, but on that size,
ठीक है.
the god of investing. Anyways, so okay, we did autos, we did everything else. Venkat Kalam is asking which are the 3 sectors or themes which the market is looking bullish for the next 1-2 years. I see recycling. Correct me if I'm wrong. Recycling is a Venkat. So
We spoke about it on Friday, right? You that was your.
but my
thing.
small point is recycling is very
small.
It's a very small. I mean, stocks भी छोटे हैं, कम हैं. It's not a very large bucket. So just be careful. I mean, for a retail investor, it's fine. 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000 shares. But it's not a very large
See,
sector.
it's a theme which may become big maybe in the next 10 years.
But recycling, like guys like Amar Raja who needed the scrap for batteries, they've established their own plant now. Because they have that kind of cash and they don't see this thing. So it's like...
I think practically
that's also
every
a
processing
proxy
industry
thing
is doing that.
Yeah.
Henderson Zinc is doing it. Recycling का उनका silver and others का जो recycling वो कर रहे हैं. So every processing industry is now doing it because it's a very unorganized market. If you look at it, and that is something which is changing in some way. Maybe next 5 years we will see a lot of players coming in. अभी जो जैसे तुमने बोला हमारा रजा का एक division है. Maybe 5 years down the line they will say, okay, we want to separate, demerge it and list it separately. Henderson Zinc wanted to do that for its recycling thing, but it's not getting approval from the government. But there are other in every industry there's this recycling thing, and I think that will become one theme 5 years down the line when the critical mass जब आएगा और ये they start these organized players will start getting a market share of say 30-40%. Then I think it becomes a critical mass for them to do it, and anyone who has a first mover advantage in that could be big.
Yeah, could be interesting. So, but not a very large theme for now. Okay, the moot question. Sekon is asking, are Indian IT companies nimble enough to adapt the revenue models, not just creating and training new AI models, but fine-tuning the existing ones to local requirements? एक मिनट में आंसर दे दो सर, बाकी कल ले लेंगे बाकी का, है ना?
हाँ, नहीं है हमारे पास टाइम
5 मिनट है.
हाँ 5-6 मिनट है.
But there are a lot of other questions. Since we spoke about IT so much, any comments on how LTCG elimination by the government can help? When has the government?
No, they haven't done it. LTCG नहीं है कुछ, कोई changes नहीं है आपके LTCG में.
वहाँ पे नहीं है. मुश्ताक अनीस is asking that
आपको सिर्फ साबुन खरीदने को पैसा एक्स्ट्रा मिला है, वो भी अप्रैल से.
आप 12,000 के साबुन खरीदते हैं सर? आप अमीर हो. 12,000 परिवार के 12 महीने का साबुन आ जाएगा भाई हमारा तो. चेहरे की सुंदरता को निखारे नया हवा.
चल लिपस्टिक भी कर लो, उसमें ऐड कर लो.
आप लिपस्टिक भी लगाते हो?
और क्या कर रहे हो? मैगी भी ले लो.
But so okay, lot of questions on auto, right? So Nomadic Akshay is asking, should we buy auto stock at cheat valuation, special Tata Motors up one? There was one. Can we buy M&M at current levels?
इसका से मैं बहुत हाँ. So this thing is कि I think City Note was very interesting.
We can't give a buy or a sell, by the way.
हाँ. So it's like the scale जो था पहले कि ICE vehicles का you should have that distribution scale. I think that is something that City feels is going away. They feel features and that's why Mahindra Maruti is the top pick. I think that's one. And second, Tata Motors ka is like, it'll be interesting if JLR participates in the scheme as well. The 4,000 crore EV scheme which Tesla might come in. JLR could participate. They are putting up their plan, but they could participate and it could essentially lower the cost because they are already producing a Range Rover in the Pune plant. So if they do that, you're getting a 48-50 lakh में Range Rover. So it's just like will give some competition to Chinese.
हाँ, अगर 48-50 लाख में तुमको रेंज रोवर मिलती है और 40-50 लाख में आपको टेस्ला ईवी मिलती है, तो क्या खरीदोगे? Just asking.
Sir,
I like Range Rover. Yeah. I like the way the car is built.
Yeah. That's the thing. So it's very. And one other thing was Nomura, which was saying कि there's a 50% localization that components में 5 साल में आपको achieve करना है, ये scheme में आना है तो. So their pecking order is auto components. So I think they have some 3 to 4 names in which they are positive: Sansera, Sona Comstar, Motherson Sumi, and Motherson Wiring. So I think that's another proxy play.
And these are also the companies which may be impacted because of the Trump tariff as well.
Yeah, so some global mein they've seen a lot of correction. I think Sona BAW has fallen from like highs of 700 is 480 now. But yes, I think the commentary is something which they've said ki thoda we'll have to watch out for. But they said that hybrid might be coming back in a big way in Europe. It's like something which is, they had the product ready, market moved on. Market wanted to look at EV, so they're like, ठीक है, कभी आएगा market वापस तो हमारे product चल जाएंगे. So I think it's coming back now.
What is your view on hybrid as per se? Because hybrid पे अभी काफी emphasis भी आ रहा है.
सर को पूछो hybrid पे view क्या है उनका सर का.
हाँ सर तो hybrid वाले.
देखिए मतलब नहीं मैं तो my version of literally the version of hybrid was that I didn't want to put out so much of fumes in the air and there was no good EV available. So then I went and bought a hybrid car, right? Simple. कि भाई चलो at least in 1 liter instead of 6 kilometers per liter, I'm getting 18-19. So therefore that was my contribution to
the environment.
Yes.
I'm not kidding. Literally that was my contribution to the environment.
But one question on hybrid is always, which is this thing that why doesn't Hyundai get their hybrid cars in India? That is something that's always bothered me.
Do they have globally?
They have globally a lot of hybrids, but certainly for something in India they don't see. And Creta they are launching an EV right now, so it's already there. So
but that looks good, huh?
Yeah, that looks
really good.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, but I don't have an answer. I mean, you know these autos better, so but no, I don't know.
I think it's like consumers are preferring the newer models more, like Mahindra B6, XCV90, rather than the older fit ones. Like ICE को तुमने
I think
only Creta might be saved in that because of the features they give, but I think बाकी सब में
that is something which is now changing, right? This is something which Maruti began. Whenever Maruti used to come out with a new model or new car, it would be full of features. And you know, and it was supposed to be value for money at that time. You know, whether it is a sedan or Maruti was the first to do that. Okay,
I think the company which beat anybody else was Hyundai.
With SUVs, they beat everything.
Hyundai नहीं है.
Hyundai features were always the best.
After
Hyundai
Creta,
features were best, but not at the same price point at same time.
So, but
I've done that
market
because मैंने तब SUV खरीदी थी, मैंने वो एक exercise की थी, and at that exercise, I didn't find Hyundai giving me the same kind of features at the price point which I wanted. Simple as that. You will get all the features. No one is saying you
anyways, सानू की.
But I'm trying to say कि वो features जो है अभी trend हो गया है.
Okay.
But उसकी वजह से ना auto components industry will be the best impacted because
Last 1 minute. So, Nomadic Akshay, thank you so much for following us. Really appreciate this. And
And
I
please,
believe we took your answer
and please
Tata Motors.
subscribe
Yeah.
to the YouTube channel.
To the YouTube channel as well. One last question, Mushtaq Anis, because this will be common. Given current market conditions and economic trends, do you think gold is priced favorably for investment at this time? And what format?
I'm not a physical gold investing.
You're a physical gold
No,
investor.
I'm not. But you can take ETFs or gold bond if you really want to have some
Gold
percentage.
bond, अभी तो sovereign gold bond तो बंद हो गए.
नहीं
बंद
but
हो
index
Mutual fund
वाले
होते
जो
हैं.
हैं वो
But at this price also?
SIP करो.
Yeah, that's the best thing. एक gold में कोई
SIP
time नहीं
करो.
कर पा रहा है.
टाइम नहीं कर पा रहा है.
But आप
वो
15 साल का
हाँ मतलब कल को ट्रम्प छींक मारेगा तो गोल्ड ऊपर चले जाएगा. ठीक है, ऑयल ऊपर जा रहा है, गोल्ड ऊपर चले जाएगा. You know, so it's better to do that.
Yeah, I think the argument might only be, sorry, just before we end, the only argument might be that usually gold अगर साल का 12% देता है on an average, तो इस साल तो 10-11% हो गया है. तो has gold front loaded its
But last year भी
gains?
ऐसे किया था.
Yeah.
But now and the wars apparently might be ending, though the
Might,
Gaza
yeah.
conflict has just gotten a bit heated.
Yeah.
But if the wars are ending, then does the premium come off? But I think Sajeet's answer is the best.
Yeah.
SIP करो, खुश रहो.
Yeah.
हाँ, मतलब फिजिकल क्यों रखने का अपने पास?
नहीं, आप फिजिकल में SIP करो, not a problem.
हाँ, see if you want to do that, you can do it, but financial instruments are the best way to do it, right? Why do you want to increase India's imports?
आपका फोन.
Gold companies, gold ले लो, gold stock वाले companies मत लो. वो एक
हाँ,
वो
तो ज्वेलरी
सही SIP करो. हाँ.
ज्वेलरी नहीं लेने का?
हाँ, नहीं तुम gold ले लो यार, stocks मत लो यार, gold वाले, jewelry वाले.
Yeah. Anyways, to that, the Indian housewife, kudos to her. And by the way, just one last thing, I've been trolled on Twitter once that, don't use the term housewife. I don't think housewife is a demeaning word. Being a housewife is also terrific
Homemaker.
responsibility. Homemaker.
Yeah.
No, but I'm
Homemaker.
saying no, but my limit was just saying a homemaker. But a housewife is not a derogatory word.
They add so much of economic value to the GDP.
Yeah, housewife is not a derogatory word at all. So I will use the term. Salute to the Indian housewife, because housewife is not a derogatory word. Being a housewife is a brilliant act. So my mom is a housewife and I'm super proud of her.
And she contributes to the economy.
Yeah.
Big time.
अभी तो उनकी जरूरत है हमको तो.
हाँ, हर वक्त जरूरत है भाई.
अभी तो बहुत ज़्यादा है.
हर वक्त जरूरत है. But anyways, on that note, thank you so much for tuning in today. Please watch some of the interviews that we've done as well. Subscribe, most importantly, if you can. Please subscribe if you like some of the work that we do. Thank you.
चलिए.
सजीत सर ने आईटी को पीएल दिया है.
आईटी बहुत दिनों से फैला हुआ है.
आपने सिर्फ चेरी और टॉप